everyone, I'm here today with my planned reading for 2016. What I've done is I've just come in from work and on an impulse I've gone to my shelves and pulled off a stack of books that have been there for ages that need to be read. So I've just gone with what my gut's feeling at the time. This is a bit of a bookish confession because you might gasp in horror that I've not actually read some of these books yet. But I've took them off my shelf and this is what I've got. So the first one is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. I haven't got a clue what this is about. It says that it will inspire as much fierce lifelong affection in readers, so I'm quite happy to go into this blind. I know it's a classic, I know it's well loved, so I don't care what it's about, I'm going to go for it. The next one is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I've read 3 of Sarah Waters' other books, but I think this is possibly one of her more well-known ones, and I haven't actually read this one. But I love her writing. I love the way she takes you back in time, the mood, the place, the characters, they just all transport you. I love the way that she deals with, themes of sexuality and feminism, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Don't know why I haven't got around to reading this one yet. And it's actually signed by Sarah Waters, because I met her. Now, this one will make people gasp in horror. I know it's a biggie on BookTube. I know it's like the book to die for. I've had it for years. And it's A Secret History by Donna Tartt. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. It sounds just my kind of thing. I think it's sort of been on my shelf, and sometimes when I put them on my shelf they kind of sort of disappear a bit, but when they're about lying around the house they're reminding me that they're there. So it's now off the shelf and this year it will be read. The next one is Sula by Toni Morrison. I've never read any Toni Morrison. I don't think this is one of her more well-known ones. I think Beloved is probably a bit more well-known than this, but I remember listening to something on the radio about Toni Morrison that said Sula was probably the best place to start for Toni Morrison. So I bought the book, stuck it on my shelf, and still not read it yet, but I will. Next one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I think this is a bit of magical realism. Again, bought it, liked the sound of it, stuck it on the shelf, been there for ages, not read it, going to read it this year. And the next one is E.F. Benson, Map and Lucia. I don't know much about it, but I do remember that there was a TV adaptation of it on a while back, and as usual I will not watch the TV adaptation if I can help it without reading the book first, because we all know, booktubers, that the book is better, and let's not spoil the beautiful reading experience by the TV. So I've not watched the TV show yet, and the book needs to be read, and that's going to go on the shelf, not on the shelf, back on the shelf, on the pile, and it's quite a thin one so it shouldn't take me too long to read it. The next one is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. As I'm going through these I'm realising that I've got quite an eclectic mix of books in this pile, so there's certainly lots to give me pause for thought, lots to think about, lots of different journeys I can take with the books. It's all going to be, something different, and so I won't get bored with one particular genre. The books are going to inspire me to, just go with whatever I'm in the mood for at the time, and there'll probably be one other books on these shelves that will make me want to read it. I believe this is quite grisly, and I do like a bit of grisly, but we'll see. The next one is The Orphan Master's Son by Adam Johnson. I believe this, it says in it, won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 2013, so that's a pretty good recommendation. I believe it's about North Korea, which absolutely fascinates me. I've got quite a few books on North Korea that I've still not read yet, so maybe this is the year that I do my North Korea journey. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Again, don't know why I haven't read it, because every time I look at it I think, oh yeah, need to read that. The next one is a big book, which will also fill in with my needing to get over my fear of big books, and that's Villette by Charlotte Bronte. Jane Eyre is my absolute favourite book of all time, and some booktubers have said that they prefer this to Jane Eyre, it's their favourite. So I'm quite happy just to go in. I don't know much about it at all. Beautiful vintage red spine, but I'm quite happy to just start reading because it's Charlotte Bronte after all, isn't it? What could be wrong with that? The next one is Alone in Berlin by Hans Verlade. I do like this cover, it's actually beautiful, isn't it? It's very atmospheric and moody. Again, this is another one I've had in my shelves for a while. I believe this is quite a well-known book as well. It's down as a Penguin Modern Classic. I think it's something to do with being Berlin 1940, set in the war, so that's another different place for me to go to on my eclectic mix of book reading this year. And then from Germany we go to, well, I think it's New York, but obviously we've got a bit of Sicily thrown in there. That's The Godfather by Mario Puzo. I have never seen the films, I have never read the book. I am aware there's lots of references to it, I'm aware it's a huge cultural iconic thing. Miss me completely. So obviously the best place to start is the book. I bought this ages ago. It sounds like a really, really good read, and so again, that's on this year's pile. The next one is Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. Obviously Elizabeth Gaskell is one of the great female writers of the Victorian era. I feel like she's probably more like a female Charles Dickens because she had quite a lot of social commentary in her writing. And obviously she's from the northwest just like me, so she's definitely a hero. Unfortunately though, I've only read Cranford and that is an absolute sin, so Mary Barton is going to be on that pile this year, and hopefully I'll get to quite a lot of her other works as well. And the last one on the pile is D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's Lover. Such a famous book. Again, the BBC did an adaptation of it, which I wouldn't watch until I've got the book read. And this one, obviously, it's got such a history with it. It's a well-known book, a well-known story. I know a little bit about it, but not very much. And so I'm quite keen to read this. So that's the books that I just pulled off my shelves on a whim, that as I just looked around, I just went shelf by shelf and I thought, oh, I fancy you, oh, I fancy you. So just grab them off, and what I'm going to do is not put them back on the shelf, because if I put them back on the shelf, they disappear. So they are going to go next to my bed, so that when I've got the urge to do something a little bit different, a little bit, oh, and fancy something new, fancy an old friend really that has been around for a while, I can get to these books. So hopefully, if all goes well, I will read them all this year. At the minute, I'm determined I will do it. So let you know how I get on. I'd love to know what you think of these books as well, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!